Gizzo, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business. And listen, you can tap in or you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. So let's get right into it. And Siggy Jackson, you are the topic of discussion, my G. Siggy Jackson, you are the topic of discussion, my G. So let's get right into it. Now, Siggy Jackson is the nephew of Michael Jackson. Yeah, Mike Jackson, Billie Jean, I'm Bad, the Moonwalk himself. You feel me? This is his nephew. And he recently spoke out about the death of his uncle, about the death of Michael Jackson. You feel what I'm saying? And it gets deep, it gets wicked, and it's always deep in a rap when you scratching the surface. And here at Grown Man Business TV, you already know we definitely scratching the surface. Now, I felt the need to speak on this and bring it to the light, because the last video that I did regarding Big Pun and Doggy Diamonds, you know, I got deep. You know, I definitely scratched the surface. You understand me? And you will start to see some clicks and some cuts and some edits all throughout that video. The higher-ups and the elites, they shadow ban it. They don't want you to hear certain things. I mean, it's mind-boggling that my voice, it's the power behind it. You understand? It's becoming powerful. We're only going up, constant elevation. Trust me, I've known for a while now that the higher-ups and the elites are listening. So it is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. But Michael Jackson's nephew, spoke about the suspicions around his death. He spoke about, you know, the higher-ups and the elites taking out his uncle. Yeah, I told y'all these insurance policies are real. These insurance policies are real. Now listen, I could break it down for you, but I'm going to let Siggy say it in his own words. You already know, man, we growing organically. The channel's growing. The content's growing. I want y'all to sit back and get an earful of what Siggy is saying about what happened to his uncle, about what happened to Prince. And we going to come back and we going to tap in. You already know how we do. We going to tap in. Gang.
I'm going to say it out there straight for everybody listening. My uncle didn't die. He was murdered. I feel the same thing about Prince. We're losing a lot of stars because you have to remember, these are basically insurance policies. When he dies, whatever was owned by the company reverts back. We're not talking about $100,000. We're not talking about $1 million. And everybody in this room knows $1 million, I don't care if you're a normal person, ain't getting you shit. After taxes, you still got to live the same. You still got to stack your money. But when my uncle died, we're talking about billions of dollars. Can you imagine if Prince, when he died, sold Little Red Corvette to Chevy? Woo. Let's just you think about it.
Yeah.
They say Prince died broke. How do you die broke with $1 billion catalog? If he would have sold 3 songs, he'd have had a couple $100 million sitting in his pocket to play with.
Yeah.
All he had to do is, here, take these 3. I got the catalog of the rest.
Right.
Notice that when my uncle dies, why do you hear all his music? Why is there a Motown cartoon out now? A, B, C,
Right.
easy as. Okay, well, obviously when my uncle was alive, he wasn't giving the rights to anybody. But when he dies, all of a sudden...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It gets deep, it gets wicked, and it's always deep in a rap when you scratching the surface. And here at Grown Man Business TV, you already know we definitely scratching the surface. Now, you heard that, right? You got an earful, right? I'm telling y'all, it's not a game. In my last video, you know, the way they edited it and they cut certain things in and cut certain things out, it let me know that it's all the way real. You understand? The ears are open. They listening. Now, Siggy broke it down. But you already know here at Grown Man Business TV, we coming from our own angles, our own perspective. Yeah, I see it from so many different angles and so many different views and perspectives, my G. It's only right that I give it to the people. Salute to Siggy Jackson. Salute, my G. That's what I'm talking about. Not being afraid to drop the truth. Not being afraid to drop the real. You feel me? So you already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? We coming from multiple different angles, my G. We coming from multiple different angles, my G. And that leads me and segues me into my first angle, my G. My first angle, my G. And that's Mike Jackson. Yeah, that's Billie Jean. I'm Bad, Thriller himself. Now, we all seen what happened to Mike. We all seen how it went down. All the suspicions, all the suspect things that happened surrounding his death with the doctor, with the medicine, with him being asleep and him being awake and him, all of those things cause confusion. The more confusion, the better, because Mike Jackson is a big fish. Now, I've been telling y'all about the regulars, Big Puns, the young Dolphs. But I wanted to take it to another level. I wanted to show y'all just how high this thing goes. You understand? Now, Mike Jackson, we already know he owned everybody's catalog. Almost anybody you can think of that's of A-list celebrity, he owned their catalog. All the way down to Elvis, the Beatles. Yeah. It gets deep, it gets wicked, and it's always deeper than rap when you scratch the surface. You feel me? So Mike Jackson was a threat. He had a big target on his back for a long time. Not just because of his business ventures, not just because of his business smarts, right? Mike was dropping songs talking about, all I really want to say is they don't really care about us. Who is they? I want everybody to take a second and go back and watch that video by Michael Jackson. All I really want to say is they don't really care about us. Trust me, when you see this video, you'll understand the other side, the other aspects of why he was taken out. But when it comes down to it, Michael Jackson was signed to somebody. When it comes down to it, Michael Jackson had partnerships and dealings with others, with the higher-ups and elites. He got just as big as the higher-ups and the elites. And he didn't conform. He didn't bend, break, or fold. He actually started playing them and beating them at their own game. Now we got to get MJ out of here. Oh, when we get him out of here, we'll own the whole catalog. Billions of dollars worth of catalog, we'll own it. We'll be able to now start, selling pieces and portions of it to get our money. I'm sure the insurance policies that they had, I'm sure the money that they had tied up into Michael Jackson's death comes into the hundreds of millions, close to billions of dollars. And over the next 20 to 30 years, billions of dollars on top of billions of dollars when it comes to the revenue streams of MJ's catalog. The higher-ups and the elites will let you get to the level of MJ where you're on their level. You're just as big, if not bigger, and then they'll smoke you. And again, like I said before, back in the days, we didn't have a connection to this information. So they'd get you smoked out, something like Princess Diana, and we'd never know what happened up under that bridge. We'd never be able to tell or see exactly what happened under that bridge, under that tunnel. Yeah, same thing with MJ. The problem is the information is out now, and we got people that's speaking on it. So salute to Michael Jackson's nephew for just keeping it 100. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be at all times, my G's. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be at all times, my G. But when they take you out, it's so many of them that's going to eat off your death. It's so many vultures that's going to eat off the corpse. It's so many vultures that's going to come down and take a piece off the corpse. The higher-ups and elites. I've been telling y'all the big fish get whacked just like the little fish get whacked. But they got so many different ways to sell death to you. They got so many different ways to cause confusion so that people won't ask questions. Bang. You're out of here. So it is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be, my G's. So you already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? We coming from multiple different angles, my G. We coming from multiple different angles, my G. And that leads me and segues me into my second angle, my G. My second angle, my G. And that's exactly what Siggy Jackson said about Prince. R.I.P. to the legend, Prince. Yeah, it gets deep, it gets wicked, and it's always deeper than rap when you scratch the surface. And here at Grown Man Business TV, we definitely scratching the surface. Now, when MJ's nephew was speaking, he brought up Prince as well, because these are two legends on the same level, taken out in the same manner, for the same reasons. You understand? Now, Prince, we all saw Prince. We all saw Prince go from Purple Rain to wearing slave tattooed on his face and makeup, letting the world know what was going on, or trying to let the world know. We didn't know what he meant back then. But again, the information, the age of information. And we learned that the word slave is conjured into the contracts. The word slave is plastered in all of the contracts of these music and artists, of these artists. You feel what I'm saying? Small print. It's slave word. So he writ it over his face because he wanted to expose the higher ups and the elites. He became rebellious. He started going on media outlets and exposing the higher ups and the elites. Like MJ's nephew said, like Siggy said, they told us that Prince died broke. But how do you die broke with $1 billion catalog? Yeah. You know the song he was talking about, Lil Pink or Lil Red Corvette. You know how Prince used to do his thing? You know how Prince did? Prince's image, his likeness is well over $1 billion, I'm sure. Whoever he was signed to, you think they didn't have an insurance policy? Some type of clause in the contract in case something happened to him? Because you got to know this. With the investments that they had into MJ, with the amount of investments they had into a Prince, if they didn't have an insurance policy protecting that asset, protecting that investment, oh, you wouldn't be able to get close to an MJ. You wouldn't be able to touch a Prince. They'd never just mysteriously pass away. But the fact of the matter is, when they have these life insurance policies on these artists, they don't mind you slipping down the drain. They don't mind you accidentally taking too much sleeping medicine. They don't mind you getting wiped out, because they gained the insurance policies on top of your catalog. Now this, like I said, this is the highest level. This is the highest level of what the higher ups and elites do. This is the highest level of return on investment. This is the highest level of selling death to the culture, death to our people. This is the only culture, the only genre of music that you see it being sold back to us like that. But don't get it confused. Don't think that country artists they're not, they're not vulnerable to being sacrificed for the insurance policies. Rock stars, Linkin Park. That's a whole nother video. Look into Linkin Park. Look into the mysterious death of the lead singer of Linkin Park. I mean, I'm going to drop the game for you, but we still on Prince. Yeah. Prince could have easily sold, the rights or the masters to 2 or 3 songs and been up $500 million. Easy. And Prince got hundreds of songs. Hundreds. Not including adding them and letting them use it for music. Adding them, letting them use it for movies. Adding and letting them use it for commercials. Letting people start sampling. If he wanted to get some money, he could have got it. But the higher ups and elites, they always watching. They always plotting. And the bigger the investment, the bigger the return on investment. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be at all times, my G's. But we dropping this game. It is what it is, man. Y'all in a rush to get into this industry. Just know what you become when you step in and you sign that contract. You become an asset. You become a tax write-off, a liability, whatever. Oh, you're gonna become a policy as well. Oh, a good, nice size policy for you, youngster. So it is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. So you already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? Multiple different angles, my G. We coming from multiple different angles, my G. And that leads me and segues me into my third angle, my G. My third angle, my G. My third angle. And that's the overall view of the situation. The overall view of these distribution companies, these record labels, and how, especially within our culture, how they sell death, how they draw you in. into these contracts that have all these clauses in small print written in for you to fall. They gonna eat off you in life. They gonna eat off you in death. Look at Michael Jackson. Look how big he was. Who was ever bigger? Who did it bigger? In business and in music. Yeah. How many people? Let's go down the list. If you do the research, let's look at the last names of the people that's eating off of Michael Jackson right now. They all will be higher-ups and elites. They all will have those Jewish names, those weird last names. We already know. Paskowitz. Yeah, Coles, Leo Cole, all of that. All of that. Same thing with Prince. Now, I think Prince might have, I think Hove, I think Jay-Z might have put his hand in the pot and grabbed some of Prince's masters to help preserve art, to help preserve history. Tupac. Look at the people who own his estate now. Look at they're white and they're eating and they're using Tupac's likeness for the LBG 123 ABC community as well. All artists, all of you guys need to go ahead and get a lawyer and go back through your contracts and make sure you're lined up nice and neat, my boy. Huh? It is what it is and it'll be what it's going to be, but the overall view has to be looked at. The overall view has to be examined. Shout out to Siggy. It is what it is. And I'm coming back with a vengeance because I did a video a few days ago about Big Pun, Doggy Diamonds. Salute to Doggy Diamonds. And they clipped and they chopped some things up out of there. I didn't know that YouTube would go to this extent. But it is what it is and it'll be what it's going to be. The voice is only getting stronger. Insurance policies, my G. Yeah. It's amazing at the extent, at the heights they'll go to get this paper. At the heights they'll go for generational wealth. I mean, they'll take it to the next level. They'll X you out. All I really want to say is they don't really care about us. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be at all times. So you already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You can tap in or you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. I suggest you tap into this Grown Man Business. I suggest you tap into this Grown Man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the brick into the bottle. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight raw, pure, uncut, no extras, no preservatives. We not sugarcoat nothing, and we not dressing nothing up. Siggy Jackson had to give it to you straight raw, my G. Salute. The higher-ups and the elites, I'm back again to give it to you straight raw, my G. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. But I did a video recently about Big Pun and some of the things I heard on Doggy Diamond's live stream. And if you listen to that video, if you go check that video out, you will hear certain words being clipped out. You will hear certain things being clipped out. And yeah, they listening. Mike Jackson was done the same way as Young Dolph. Mike Jackson was done the same way as all these other artists, just on a higher level. Prince, he was done the same way, just on a higher level. Billions and billions of dollars worth of catalog. Billions and billions of dollars worth of business. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of life insurance. Who's eating off of that now? The higher-ups and the elites. All I really want to say is they don't really care about us. And it is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be at all times, my G. So you already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You can tap in and you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. Gang.